You want to listen to a podcast?
By who?
Georgia GOP Congressman Doug Collins.
How is it?
The greatest thing I have ever heard in my whole life.
I could not believe my ears.
In this house, wherever the rules are disregarded, chaos and mob rule. It has been said today, where is bravery? I'll tell you where bravery is found and courage is found. It's found in this minority who has lived through the last year of nothing but rules being broken, people being put down, questions not being answered. And this majority say, be damned with anything else. We're going to impeach and do whatever we want to do. Why? Because we won an election. I guarantee you, one day you'll be back in the minority and it ain't gonna be that fun. Hey everybody, it's Doug Collins. Glad you're back with us. It's Friday's Finest. And it means that James and I will be bringing you the best of the news, highlights, lowlights, updates, things you might care about, things you may not care about. But I tell you what, by the end of the podcast, you'll know about it because we're going to give it to you here on Friday's Finest. Glad to have you with us. But look, before we get started on Friday's Finest, and we'll have that right after the break, just touch on a few things going on this week. I mean, it could not have been a worse week for Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and the Department of Justice. When you have the two whistleblowers who came forward laying out the fact. And here's the part that, folks, it just is amazing to me that nobody wants on the left to talk about. All of these millions of dollars is not disputed anymore. Nobody is disputing that Hunter Biden got millions of dollars from China, Ukraine, and other places. And nobody seems to, they're now believing they didn't pay taxes. They didn't get a felony charge on it. Who are the others who got the money? Did they pay tax on it? Nobody's following up on this. Then, this week you had Senator Grassley release a non-classified document basically saying that we're getting money to the big guy. This is out of the Burisma issue out of the Ukraine. I mean, at some point, something has got to give, folks. I don't care, Republican, Democrat, or anything else. We're not talking about, do you like the tone of a phone call that they impeached Donald Trump over? We're not talking about, illusionary things. We're talking about unidentified money from foreign sources of enemies of this country going to, at the time, the vice president, and after the fact, the former vice president, that now lead into the son who we know is a train wreck, unfortunately. I mean, I'm glad that he's supposedly better now, and that's good. But, I mean, at the same point in time, somebody's got to pay attention to this because that money is coming from somewhere. Then we get the finding out of this week that the FBI knew the Hunter Biden laptop was real when it first came up. And then they told the social media companies to not do anything with it. Folks, I am not, and you've listened to the Doug Collins podcast. If you've been listening with us for almost 2 years now, I am not one that just goes off on wild theories of what may happen. Now, occasionally I'll talk about the, UFOs, and we'll talk about things like that. But I don't go off on wild, unsubstantiated theories. But now, folks, it's not a theory. What I've been telling you for so long, it's not a theory when you see the FBI actually keeping information that they know to be true away from the American public and having the complicity of the social media companies, Facebook, Twitter, and others. And not to mention the fact that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the fact that the FBI was playing errand boy for Ukraine in trying to stop, quote, Russian disinformation. We're going to get into this just to give you a heads up. Star-studded cast coming up here on the Doug Collins podcast. We're going to dig deep into some of these issues. I got Tom Homan's coming in. Don't think the border has went away. Tom Homan's going to be with us soon on the podcast. Got Matt Whitaker, former acting attorney general. We're going to dip into some of this stuff with the DOJ and FBI with him. Also, as I've been promising, we got the great Michael Waddell. It's time for hunting season. Just a little under 100 days away from bow season. Elk hunting starts at the end of September. Waddell will be here. The bone collector himself is going to be here. We're excited about that. Probably you've got some more we're lining up. Tafoya, Michelle Tafoya, others. It's going to be a great August, September for the Doug Collins podcast. Want you to be a part. And of course, as always, we're going to have Friday's Finest as we go. Go to the DougCollinsPodcast.com. Click on there if you have any emails to send me. Many of you are sending me emails, and we're trying to answer those. We get a lot, and especially though, if is questions and stuff we're trying to answer as we go forward. Also, as we look ahead, go to our other channels. You can see this on everywhere you get your podcast, but we also have a Rumble channel. We also have a YouTube channel if you want to watch it there as well. And we are, and I'd love to hear your input on this, we are looking at least thinking about the possibility of doing maybe Friday's Finest or some others actually as a live stream on a YouTube or a live stream on an Instagram or doing something, Facebook or something. So we're trying to, we've had a lot of requests out there. We'll see what we can do as we go forward. But now it is time for Friday's Finest, and we will be back in just a minute. Hey, everybody, you know about Legacy Precious Metals. Legacy Precious Metals, you hear from them. We talk once a month. We talk about Legacy Precious Metals, talking about precious metals being part of your portfolio, how they're your navigator. Well, now they're not only navigating in a new way, they're actually giving you a new way to buy gold and silver. In fact, Legacy Precious Metals has developed a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in real gold and silver online. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped to your door. I'm more of a ship to my door kind of person. I enjoy having them with me, but they can do it either way, and you can now do it online. It gives you real access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time, anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar. This puts you in complete control of your money. This platform is free to sign up for. Just visit legacypminvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and is against a volatile stock market. A true diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but a different asset class. This platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Remember, do as I have done. Go to legacypminvestments.com and get started today. And now you've got a new tool to help you along in your investments. Hey folks, MyPillow is excited to bring to you their biggest bedding sale ever. For a limited time, you're going to get the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, a set of pillowcases for only $9.98, and rejuvenate your bed with a MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. $99.99. Get a mattress pillow topper. Look, they come in all sizes. They got all kinds of stuff, blankets. They've got duvets. They got quilts. They got comforters. They got body pillows. They got bolster pillows. They got all that big discounts. And also, they're extending their money-back guarantee for Christmas until March 1, 2023, making them the perfect gift for your friends, your family, and for everyone you know. Folks, and just from a personal note here, I have the Giza Dream Sheets. They're on my bed right now. I slept on them last night. Some of the best sheets that we and Lisa and I have ever owned. They are worth, at this price, they're a steal. My wife and I have bought bed sheets, linens at much higher cost. It's supposedly much higher quality. These from MyPillow are at the highest of quality, and at a price like this, you can't beat it. So go now to mypillow.com, use promo code Collins, COLLINS, or call 1-800-986-3994, and you'll get huge discounts on all the MyPillow bedding products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, and get all your shopping done while qualities last. And remember, put in that promo code Collins for these discounts. All right, we're back. Friday's Finest. And we're bringing in now our wonderful overheated Texan by way of New Jersey. James, I'm glad you're still with us. How is the heat?
The heat. I'm dying a little every day, but we're trying to make the best of it, I guess, right?
Yeah. We really need to, I'm always reminded of, if you really want to go back and see comedy, you go back and Robin Williams is just, classic. And Good Morning Vietnam, his riffs on Vietnam and the heat were just hilarious. I
got to be honest, I couldn't take it. I was trapped in the house. I've been trapped in the house for a while. So is my brother. And yesterday I just couldn't take it. I was like, you know what? I'm going outside. I'm going for a walk. I'm doing something. And I was like, I'm going to go play some basketball. And it was about 105 degrees. And I was playing. I was dying. And there was this little gust of wind. And I was like, if it could just do this all day, we'd survive this wind. It's just, you can't, there's just nothing you can do about it. I stood there for like 2 seconds, enjoy the wind, went in my car, and I was like, this is it. I'm done. Today's over.
Yeah. Well, it was today where I got, it was back in Georgia too, and had an issue. By the way, rule of thumb for everybody out there listening, don't leave food or some kind of semblance of food in your car at a parking lot while you're taking a trip anywhere, and then come back and find it was next to trees, and you find that you have ants in your truck.
Oh, Doug,
Yeah,
did that happen to you? Are you okay?
Yes.
Did you go see a
Yeah.
therapist for that?
Well, I'm thinking about it, but it's tough.
I would.
So I had to come home and get the ants out of the truck. Got the food. Again, stupidly, people had left food in the truck. And so I got that all up. I think we've got it all teamed up now. But just hey, on the Doug Collins podcast, we try to give you helpful advice, and helpful advice is don't leave old food or uneaten food or wrappers in your truck.
I have a seriously irrational fear of ants.
Really?
Maybe it's not irrational, but it is. Okay, so like every other bug I can live with. I've had spiders crawl on me. So we have cicadas up the wazoo out here, blah, blah. I think it's just the idea that I've seen ants work as a unit, and I feel like they can carry quadruple time, whatever their body weight, whatever. I feel like with enough ants, they could just take me away and kill me.
Yeah.
Like I really believe that ants, what's the Simpsons thing when our ant overlords are here to take us or whatever it was? I don't know. I'll find the audio clip. It's hilarious.
Yeah, play that.
But it's just like I just can't. Ants scare the hell out of me. Anyway, can I just bring something up real quick?
Yeah, bring it up.
Before we go on with our whole show, you were talking in the intro and you brought up sometimes we talk about aliens on this show jokingly.
Yes, we do.
But did you see that apparently the Republicans and the Democrats,
yes,
two sides that, quite frankly, as we know, don't work together,
right,
are coming together to force the government to release UFO records?
Yes, and they're going to have a hearing on it next week, I think. And I think if it's next week, a House oversight hearing. Yeah, James, look that up right quick. House oversight hearing UFOs. I think it's next week. And if it is, we'll have live breaking coverage of this event. I mean,
Doug,
did you see the picture of Did you see the picture that was just out, James, about the pilot who took the picture of the thing that flew past him? Have you seen this?
Yeah, I've seen it, and I believe it all. I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry. One more time. What is it called? The what? The House what?
House Oversight Committee UFOs. Just to type that.
Okay, so I'm with you on this whole thing. I believe it all. I don't care what anyone says. There's something.
It's supposed to be a hearing.
The hearing to hold hearing. It's going to be next week. Representative Tim Burchett.
By the way, Tim Burchett, big supporter of the podcast, been on our podcast a couple of times. I've got to put ahead. I got to put ahead to get Tim back on. I'm glad you reminded me.
Yeah. He said he wants the federal government to release UFO-related records and that witnesses at the hearing will speak frankly to the public about their experiences. Now, the government has spent a lot of time and money destroying people who've said things.
Yep.
I would like those people who've had to go through that particular type of hell of being ridiculed and treated like a psycho to get the same treatment like when prisoners are in jail for 20 years and they get some money when they get out.
Yep.
It'll never undo the damage, but we should be giving those people some scratch because we treated them like we ostracized them. And they may have been right.
Yeah, they have. Well, and these guys that are coming up, and for those of you who think this is sort of crazy and that, I'm sort of out on the non-mainstream, and this example I'm getting ready to give you may not help the situation.
It's coming at the government committee.
Yeah, it's coming from the government committee. But Joe Rogan has been on this forever. I mean,
that's right.
If you listen to some of Rogan's stuff, I mean, and these guys where they're told not to. Here's a funny quote from this last week, and this is what I love about Friday's Finest because God knows we got in the show notes and we never use them. Kevin McCarthy, Speaker of the House, made a funny quote the other day, and part of it, I tend to believe, because it's got that kernel of truth to it. He said, I don't know if there's UFOs or not. He said, but I don't think the Department of Defense does because if they did, they'd be wanting more money. and the interesting part is what
that's great.
Yeah, Tim Burchett, like I said, who's been on the podcast before, great guy. He's funny as can be too. And but he made a comment the other day. He supposedly saw some of the footage that I'm assuming is going to come out in this hearing. And
absolutely.
He said, "Oh my God." He said, we're in deep crap, basically.
I think the thing is that this is just all, we can get into conspiracy. We could do this for the entire show, but we won't because we'll talk about it more next week.
Right.
But I am baffled by two things. One, the idea that we think we can force the government to do anything. But because let's be honest, if they want to cover it up and never release anything, they just won't. There's nothing any of us can do about it. We can say we whatever. I mean, you were in the government.
Oh,
You know that if they want to hide something, I mean, for Christ's sake, they're still hiding whose cocaine it was. I think I think they're going to hide the aliens for a little longer.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, we're forcing you to show us alien documents. Yeah, okay.
Well, the other thing is,
But it makes me laugh. But the other thing, Doug, tell me,
yeah,
are you prepared for the fact that nobody's going to care about this? Like we should, and we should care about it. But next week, nobody's going to care about it.
well, look, if the media needs to ignore something, maybe they'll ignore UFOs and actually figure out who Hunter Biden is. You know,
No, that's impossible. Nobody knows who he is. Maybe he's the alien.
Yeah, he may be. You know, he's. We're talking Men in Black up here, okay?
Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. I mean, like really, you know.
Where's Fox Mulder when you need him?
I tell you, yeah. Okay, start playing the music right here.
Yeah, exactly. I listen. I'm all in. But let's move on because I know you want to talk about other things. But let's talk about. I'm all in on this next week. I'll talk. We could just do an X-Files episode and I'll have a full time. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, moving on. You know, James, I mean, one of the things is this podcast is trend setting. I don't
Certainly
care
were.
where you're at. You know, it's time we all start putting out shirts on Friday's Finest, the Doug Collins podcast, because we're trendsetters. We had Coach Changaley on here first of the week. And what was one of the things we discussed? We discussed the absolute tanking of the running back market in the NFL. And what has been talked about all week, James? It was the lead article from us on Monday with Coach Gailey, and then the running backs didn't get extended. Shaquan Barkley. I mean, I'm telling you, we're cutting edge here, bud.
We are, and I knew that if we had Coach on, that he would have a strong opinion about it, mainly because he is quite literally from the era, which is any other era but the last 8 years, where running backs were king. I mean, I'm not saying that guys aren't getting paid more. That's just inflation.
Well, there's legitimate numbers out there now, James. And look, I don't think you can win a Super Bowl without a decent running back. I just don't. And
you have to have a running game at the very least.
Yeah, at least you got to have somebody.
Which might be to their point is that you have without you can spread the ball. But anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
But it is. But they I saw a statistic that was before coming into the thing our show today. In 2017. The difference in money between wide receivers and running backs on franchise tag was about $4 million. Today, it's over $10 million.
Well, look at someone like Odell Beckham Jr. The guy hasn't played in a year, and he's making triple what Austin Eckler's making.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't even know if that number's correct. I heard it was triple, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is that Odell hasn't played, and Austin Eckler is one of the leading touchdown scorers in the NFL.
But and it was interesting enough is even the top running teams last year, Chicago, Atlanta, the Giants, Tennessee, all of them though their running back spending was relatively small. Now Atlanta is going to we were crazy enough to go out and draft one in the top 10.
Well, yeah, that was
again, all of this going on and nobody got the memo in Atlanta. You know, like Arthur, were you stuck in Florida or something, buddy? I mean,
no, you're right, and I think the problem is like I say like too much. I think the issue here is that they're not totally wrong as far as the numbers are concerned, obviously, because it's working to some effect that paying guys less is working. However, you're going to hurt the future market, and that's what they're not thinking about. Is guys are going to you said it. I will give you credit. You said it on this podcast. I mean, that players are going to say, "Oh, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm a running back right now. Forget about it. I'm just going to go play linebacker. I'm built for it."
Exactly. I mean, it's just it's just not why ruin your market cap. I mean, if you're really a good athlete and can do those kind of things. I mean, it's just like I said, it's just again, it's sort of just the whole changing of the guard in football. I get it; it changes. We've seen it, go from as we talked with Coach Gailey, 5 yards in a cloud of 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and now you got protecting quarterbacks to where you can't even touch them. I was listening to, I can't remember who it was. Oh, I remember Dustin, not Dustin. He just retired from the from Denver, or he was mainly at Denver for the whole time. Then he went to Baltimore.
Shannon Sharp?
No, defensive lineman. Crap, he's been on some of the. Hang on a second, I'll find it here. But he was talking about how when they first entered into the rule changes and everything on Derek Wolfe.
Okay.
Derek, he was on the Meat Eater podcast. By the way, if you want to hear a good story on him killing that lion, the mountain lion, 8-foot mountain lion, over 200 pounds.
No thanks.
Massive.
I'll just be dinner. I'm good with being dinner. I ain't fighting no mountain lion.
He killed him with a bow. Anyway, Wolf was talking about when they came into training camps and the officials basically were trying to explain how you tackle a quarterback without getting a penalty. They basically said, we don't know. And
that's insanity.
Yeah. And these were the officials saying it. And they said, look, he said, because you can't throw them, you can't hit them above the head, you can't hit them below the knees, you can't. And he said, Derek finally said, in fact, he said he lost like 5 or 6 sacks. That was it 2020 year or 2019 year because he was scared to hit them.
Yeah, remember the play against the Kansas City play against Tom Brady where the guy didn't go after Tom Brady and it might have cost him a Super Bowl appearance.
All right, look, James. Though here's the problem. Oh, okay. With all this, we can talk statistics, we can talk numbers, we can talk everything else. But bottom line is, we're getting to the point where you can't tackle a quarterback like we just talked about Derek Wolfe. I mean, Derek Wolfe basically said you just had to roll the quarterback up and lay him on top of you and fall down.
Yeah.
I mean,
use him as a blanket.
Yeah, use him as a blanket. It's just stupid. I mean, and look, I get the hard hits. I get, that you're trying to make it safer. I get all of that.
100%. Totally.
But, I mean, at a certain point in time, it's just, again, we're moving more toward and I don't mean this literally, but I mean, it's pretty close. You're moving more of a flag football kind of setup.
For sure. I mean, that seems like the way people are concerned it's going.
Yeah. And, again, and I know this is a concern, but anyway, look, you got a good guy growing up right now who's a running back. You better teach him how to catch a pass. That's all I'll say. Or teach him how to hit.
Right. And you're, that's for sure. I mean, even to your point, and we can get off this topic after this, but I was listening to Stephon Diggs talk about the first time he heard a big hit when he got in the NFL, 2014, 2015, whatever it was. And he was joking about it, and then he said afterwards, he's like, the DB doesn't want to hit you. And he goes, especially because they'll get fined. They're not going to hit you across the middle anymore. It's a fine.
Yeah.
So he goes, I'll just go right up to him and beg him to hit me.
Yep.
And I thought that was very funny, but also showing that someone like Stephon Diggs is going to get paid $15, $20 million a year. No, I think he's in the 30s. I think the best receivers are in the 30s now.
Yeah.
So let's say 27 to 30, 35. Justin Jefferson's going to get something like $35, $36 million when he signs. But they're getting that much money. They're totally protected. Quarterbacks are getting the top money. They're totally protected. And offensive linemen do the protecting, so they're going to get the top money.
Yeah.
But the running back is left to get hits, do the protection, catch passes, run the ball, protect the quarterback, and he's going to get paid the lowest because you can just fill his spot with someone else younger and willing.
Now look, we all know, and again, we showed it earlier. I'm going to put it up here. It's getting closer to football. Raider Nation. Here we go. I have the hat on. In fact, I think if I can.
Do you think they should pay Josh Jacobs?
Yeah. Well, there it is. I think you should. Yeah. I mean, because I'm a running back guy. If he can catch, it's even better. But here's the because a running back coming out of the backfield that can catch is almost it's just like a tall sweep. It's become that in the NFL.
It was the only reason Christian McCaffrey helped the Panthers in the playoffs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree.
Right?
Well,
they wouldn't be in the playoffs without him.
Yeah. Well, it is. But, speaking of your beloved Vikings, I think Jefferson.
Why are you doing this?
Jefferson needs to learn to give some love to his quarterback. I mean, the quarterback.
Oh, what are you talking
only
about?
made him, for the last 3 years. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You couldn't find a place for the poor boy in top 5. I mean, I've seen only clips of this on the quarterback show, which I got to watch. It's on Netflix. We got to see it. But from what I've heard, I mean, Cousins looks just crestfallen. When told that Jefferson didn't.
Yeah, he looks hurt. He looks very hurt.
I mean, come on, man. This guy's threw you over 4,000 yards in passing in 3 years, made you a superstar, and you can't even find love in your heart to put him number 5?
Kirk Cousins is the weirdest. He's the strangest quarterback the Vikings have ever had. Not in the sense like we've had Christian Ponder, who I still have nightmares about it. But the hope for Kirk Cousins was he was going to be like a stopgap but expensive, above average quarterback. And he's kind of blown those numbers away. I know he hasn't been perfect, but his numbers are insane. He plays well. He made Justin, and don't get me wrong, Justin Jefferson's doing half the work, but the other half is done by Kirk Cousins and can't really be done without him. Throw in one of our backup quarterbacks. See how much he loves Kirk Cousins.
Well, if he can't get the ball to him, he ain't gonna get
He'll
it.
find out quick that he's in his top 5.
We'll see how that goes this year. But speaking of this, though, I got to stay on the Vikings. Vikings rookie Jordan Addison this week was cited for going 140 in a 55 zone in his new Lamborghini.
Fastest receiver in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is he can't use the car in the league. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, you're in your new Lamborghini. You're a rookie who hadn't even reported to training camp. 140 on a freeway outside of St. Paul. He 23rd pick in the draft, was not arrested, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard of. 3 a.m. in the morning.
Well, they got a season on the way. They ain't arresting him.
Okay,
You know how important it is to people?
Yeah, I got this. But I'm going to go back to there's an old John Boehner-ism. And John Boehner, former Speaker of the House, had basically his John Boehnerism was nothing good happens after 10 o'clock in Washington. This was at 3 in the morning. Nothing good. And folks, unless you're working the night shift, you're a long haul truck driver, you're listening to the Doug Collins podcast, and you're at 3 in the morning, God bless you. We need you more than you ever know. But don't. I mean, unless you're working an all-night shift at the Hardee's or unless you're at the Waffle House, nothing. I mean, no story ever starts out, well, I got in trouble at 2 in the afternoon. No, at 3 in the afternoon, there's no good coming. At 3 in the morning is no good story coming after that. Okay?
Doug, I have a couple of pretty good stories at 3 a.m. if you guys want to hear them.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right.
Listen, you're right. That is, but we all know why they didn't arrest him.
Yeah.
We got a season coming up. Let's not mess around with the number one wide, who's going to be the number 2 receiver for the Vikings, huh?
Well, I wonder if he would say that Cousins is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
He's going to say it now so he can get his targets. That's for sure.
You better believe it. I mean, he's an idiot.
I'll tell you.
Well, I'm going to rephrase that. Driving 140 in a 50.
140. Listen, a Lambo, he's young, he's dumb, he's rich. I mean, look, I don't blame a guy for going crazy, but first of all, you're in Minnesota. Okay, that is quiet town USA. They're going to get you. Okay? He was probably a local cop with that silly accent. Hey, how are you? I hope you're doing okay. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but you can go back and look at Ruggs. I think it wasn't Ruggs out of.
That's awful.
Yeah, and that's what happens. I mean,
that's the example for sure.
Yeah, you're going that fast. Look, folks. I mean, my dad was a state trooper. I mean, I drove fast. I'm not going to say I never have, but it's Dad always reminded me that. And think about this next time you're going down the road, and this is even for look, we all will pick up the phone occasionally, do a text, we'll do that stuff. It's distracting, okay? But one day, if you're ever really looking at it, how far you go in 1 second, how far you go in 2 seconds, if you're doing 55, 75 miles an hour, just one day going down the road and just go, take a yard, a sign on the side of the road and use that as your marker and then go 1,001, 1,002 and see how far down the road you are. And that's without putting on the brake. I mean, think about it. Again, it's just, look, I hate to see this in a young guy. Georgia, University of Georgia, all the universities have this problem. Kids get out and go stupid. But, again, to see that 140, really?
140s.
God almighty.
Too fast.
Go to a race course. I mean, you're rich enough now, you can go to a course somewhere and they'll let you ride.
That's the part of it, right?
Yeah.
Like not to get into my family history, my dad was an idiot when he was younger and he had a fast car. And he was going, I don't know, I think he said when he was 18, he decided he was going 125. And he got pulled over and a cop pulled out his gun because he thought my dad was like some sort of real criminal. Yeah. But my dad was just an 18-year-old idiot.
Yeah. Well,
but think about it. So 140 miles an hour, your immediate thought is that guy has something. There's something up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. And so, anyway, that in the evening at night. But anyway, for all of those listening to the Doug Collins podcast, we do not condone 140 miles. We don't condone speeding at all. But, I mean, 140 and a 55, grow up. Okay, go play your.
That's why we got funny car, baby.
Go get a Lamborghini on a track. You got the money. Go pay for it, and put it out there if you want to go racing. Another thing, how life has changed, and again, I make a lot of jokes, about the fact that I'm from, I'm a Gen X. I go back, we're the generation that got left on the doorstep. We're the generation that said, come, go outside till it got dark. And, I was the generation of, I'm, getting our rear ends beat, not time out. And now we have all the problems with, the stuff, with everybody getting their feelings hurt and everybody, worried about everything. And you made fun of me. You said something wrong to me. But, again, it's just a matter of how life has changed. And we saw that lived out again in a football program where a hazing incident undoubtedly was tacitly condoned by the head coach up at Northwestern. And, he's now gone. He was there like 19 years. And you had somebody who, again, I have to be honest with you here. I grew up in a different era. It goes back to me, I'm one of those ones that watches a few good men and understand the code red and understand why you did it. Okay. Is it right? No. Was it, if you were ever on the other end of it, did you like it? No. But you remember the Noah Wiley character in A Few Good Men, went on to play ER after that. But he said, have you ever had a code red? Oh, yes, sir. He said, my hands got slipped and I lost my rifle. And they said, well, did you get a code red? He said, yes, sir. He said, well, what did it do? I never dropped my rifle again.
Right.
Look, cruelty is not good. Okay. And I fought against cruelty, and against, even when I was back in high school. I mean, I've had some stuff, but again, this is just a sad statement, folks. This isn't the older days. I mean, I'm not one of those that look back and say, oh, we got to bring it back. But, you got to be, coaches have to be a lot more than what they were back in the day. And, you can't pick on people. I mean, there's other ways maybe you can motivate them, but this ain't the time and place for it anymore.
Yeah, I think it was less about the head coach doing it and more about either the staff or the other players. But I think it was the idea that it was apparently it's an environment of it. Here's my only problem. I kind of have one. This is my problem with all coaches that end up on this chopping block. Hazing stinks. We all know it does. It's never really been cool. Like, there's been times where it's occasionally funny in a movie, and that's it. Realistically, sometimes the hazing is pretty screwed up. I've seen it myself. We've all been in locker rooms, whatever. My issue is the coaches pretending they don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. For you to be in that position, there's no way you can't know about it, and that's my problem.
Yeah, the accuser here says that he actually was given a signal, that he would say something that would say, okay, this one is loafing or this one's doing something. This is the one today that gets the treatment or whatever.
He said that's what the coach said.
Yeah, the head coach would say there was a code word, or he'd say something. And
okay,
it was all understood. So anyway, at the end of the day,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but I mean, and also it's at Northwestern. Okay, and I'm not
right.
I mean, I don't think you'd see that at Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia or South Carolina or some other places, unless it was vehemently over the line. You know what I'm saying? And look, I get you. Some of you out there who are saying that's vehemently over the line to start with, and I'm not going to necessarily disagree with you. Okay, but I also live in the real world. People are cruel. People will do stuff to each other. Okay. Do you want to try and stop that? Yeah. But also at the same point in time, part of the, and here's my little 2-minute rant or less than that, is I think we've gotten into this world where our feelings, we lead with our feelings into where feelings are reality. I'm sorry, your feelings, you may be hurt your feelings, but sometimes you just need to, grow a callus and suck it up. I'm tired of this having to be afraid, like Jay, and I'm going to switch topics here to Jason Aldean on a song about, you don't do that around here. Basically talking about the folks who, come up behind and sucker punch you on the street, burn stuff, hit cops like we saw in some of the BLM riots a couple of years ago. And this idea that you go up and just attack people, you do that in some of these small towns, you're going to get your rear whipped and you're going to go to jail. And we don't tolerate it. And for people to be offended, they said, well, it was going to lynching and all. Look, they used a courthouse, the picture in the back of the courthouse, which they said has been used in Molly Cyrus, Hannah Montana movies. It's been used in a Hallmark movie. It's been others. Nobody ever brought it up then. And, again, I'm just sort of, and James, maybe this is it for me, because the hazing sort of hit it for me, but now this Jason Aldean stuff, I'm sick of it. I'm sorry. If your feelings are hurt, then say, oh, my feelings are hurt. Then don't listen to Jason Aldean. Don't listen to CMT. Don't go buy a country music album. Don't do whatever you want to do. But other than that, come on, folks. This has gone way past the point of understanding. My job is not to protect your feelings. My job is to be honest with myself and to be kind. I can understand that. But just because I don't agree with you and you get offended, tough taters. I'm sorry. I don't really care. I want to be nice and I'll try to be kind. But if you disagree with me and you find it offensive and don't want me to ever say it again, then I got a problem. And, I think people are finally, James, I think especially in this culture of canceling and everything else, is they're just tired of it. And, we'll see how it all works out.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people turned. This is actually longer ago than it seems, but when people turned on Dave Chappelle, when they at least tried to, because of his supposed anti-transgender message, which I think a lot of people listened to it and realized maybe it wasn't. But I think a lot of people were there at that point were like, oh, well, if you're attacking comedians who've always attacked everybody and got it like that, I think that's where people started to draw the line of, oh, you're going to try to attack comedians now? You're going to try to attack people that, yeah, okay, I think we can all, maybe I'm wrong, but for the most part, I think we can divide the racist from the kidding, from the joking. I think a lot of people have found that as long as you're attacking everybody's at play, then it's okay. And then you bring up that situation. I think people eventually, and it's turning fairly quickly. I mean, people online are the same way. I think there's more people with that mindset now where it's like, all right, yeah, maybe we're liberal, but I mean, take it easy. I don't want to ruin everything. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, here in the king, here's your, before we move on to our last topic, when they start going after the court jesters instead of the kings, you got a problem.
Right. Exactly. That's perfect. I mean, yeah.
When satire is made, when again, the reason for the court jester, the reason for the satirist, the reason for the Mark Twains, the Will Rogers of the world, was to say things in a way that got you thinking about a real issue. And, and if you can't make fun of, I mean, look, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative, I get it. But, I look at some of the, the jokes that, liberals make about Republicans and say, yeah, well, that one was pretty funny, and there'll be jokes about liberals. And I say, well, that's pretty funny. As someone who's been in the spotlight, do some of those, I mean, look, I'm going to be transparent for a second. When you're in the public eye, like I am and continue to be and have been, in a different level early on, does it hurt when somebody says something bad about you, when they say that you're stupid? I mean, look, if you ever want to look at something online, go look at the comments, even to the day, But a few years back on when I would have, hearing clips or whatever that would go out with on Twitter or Instagram, whatever. And I would have people, and this is true, I saw it many, many times. The comments would compare me to Foghorn Leghorn.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, the old comic strip character. Yeah, no, they would. You can go back and look at it. I mean, does it and talk about my voice and does some of that hurt a little bit? Yeah, but at the same point in time, whatever. Okay, go on. If I let my life be ruined by some idiot with a keyboard in the basement, I would be, I wouldn't get out anywhere. So, folks, I'll just say this again: learn to live. Living is hard. Living's tough. It was never supposed to be easy. For all of you out there wanting the happy ending every day of your life, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get the raise all the time. You're not going to get a new job all the time. You're not going to get the best sandwich all the time. And you're not going to get, the relationship work out every time like you want it to. That's while living. So quit blaming everybody else. Moving on to the happy world of weirdness, which is the two movies that are premiering this weekend. Barbie and Oppenheimer.
This is what America is all about.
If there was ever a more juxtaposition of the country we live in, it's this weekend. Barbie, and it's already started. Well, there's transgender in Barbie, and I don't like transgender, and I don't like Barbie. And Wall Street Journal,
don't go see
Barbie
it.
Is not. Yeah, somebody said don't go see it. And I can't remember if it was USA Today or others. And I was up in Fox the other day when we were talking about this. Some of the reporters were talking. They said the review of Fox or the review on this was either USA Today or Wall Street. I can't remember which one. They said Barbie movie okay, but shows she's not very deep. Oh my God! You went
Doug,
to a Barbie movie expecting deep social commentary?
Can I take this moment to? I think we share this so much, right? All right. If you don't want to see Barbie, don't go see Barbie. Okay.
Exactly.
Who cares? It is so unimportant. If it's for all you know, it's a good movie, and you're just being ridiculous. And okay, if you don't like the transgender stuff and all that, fine. Don't go see it. It's not important that you go see it. But This is it. You said that it wasn't deep, right? These are the same people who were complaining about King Kong versus Godzilla. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, look, there have been bad Godzilla movies. We all know that. The movie can just stink. It can be a bad movie. This was an awesome movie where a giant gorilla fought a giant lizard monster, and everyone died. I was really happy with that outcome because that's what I went to go see.
Perfect movie.
I didn't go see it because I wanted a deep performance from the gorilla.
Yeah.
This is why people shouldn't be allowed to be critics, because they're idiots.
Yeah. Well, it's also the reason the Oscars have no actual value anymore.
Oh, we were just talking about it. You're right. And then there's Oppenheimer, right? Where it's going to be, man, I'm excited.
Yeah, Nolan has done it. I know that my kids, I think, are going to go see both. And one of Bo in particular, I think they're looking to do a all-day double header. They're going to do Barbie dinner and Oppenheimer, which Oppenheimer's like
the Barbenheimer.
3 hours is like a movie, but it's a Chris Nolan flick. No CGI in this movie, by the way.
Yeah, real bomb, because he's a psychopath.
Yeah, real stuff, and no CGI. They used equipment, but like they had I was seeing something. There's a scene in it where they're plowing through a cornfield, and he actually bought a 100-acre cornfield and did the scene, planted the corn.
Yeah, makes sense.
And then they sold the land and the corn. I mean, Nolan is.
He probably made a profit off of it.
Yeah, he did, and I mean, it's just a different level. So folks, go see the movies. This idea we need entertainment to take us away. Maybe this goes back to, and a good place for us to sort of wrap up here, James, is we need entertainment. We don't. I mean, if you're sitting there watching, and I say this with love, and I know I've got other podcasters who on our beloved Salem Network and others who are serious all the time, and if that's your cup of tea, then go be serious and be mad at the world all the time. Okay, that's fine. I mean, because I love our Salem family. Okay, but I don't live in that world. I don't want to live in that world. I've been in the world of politics. Everything is not doom and gloom, and we've got to get back to where entertainment is fun. A Barbie movie, at the end of the day, you're not. again, if you want to go see Barbie, go see Barbie. If you don't, don't. And don't tell me why. Okay?
Please don't go see it for the Oscar-worthy
Yeah,
performances.
do not
Okay.
think that you're going to go see Barbie give a dissertation on the quantum theory of life and everything that was in it, and how Hunter Biden, is this, and that Republicans are bad. Okay, give me a break. And Oppenheimer.
At the end of Barbie, it actually tells you whose cocaine it was.
Yeah, that's it. Now I'd go see it for that. But in Oppenheimer, though, there's a great movie, and this has been part of the preview. So I haven't seen the movie, but this is just a trailer part. And think about this for a second. When he hit that button, he did not, honest to God, know what was going to happen, because they honestly thought this could be the end of the world.
Sure. They don't know. I mean, they're scientists, but they're not, perfect.
Yeah, but they didn't know because they had never done it. The fusion part, they didn't know if it would just be fusion there, or would it actually and go to others. So great stuff out there. There's a lot of good movies to go see. Go watch old movies and quit. And the other thing is, and I'm gonna quit because we could go all night, all day for this on Friday's Finest. But quit judging movies by when they were made by today's standards.
Fact. That's a fact.
Quit.
It's absurd.
Stop it. But yet we see it all the time, and it's just so go enjoy the movies this weekend. You got a lot of stuff. We've hit again, James, on Friday's Finest. We went from football to political speech to let's see, we hit pretty much everything today. So
don't forget about the aliens.
Oh, and the aliens. By the way, quick update came through. Been following this. I know I announced the stuff. We're looking to have the Honorable Tim Burchett from Tennessee, who's going to be heading up the hearings into the UFOs. We'll be back on the podcast very soon. Watch out for this. It's going to be classic. This is going to be great. So with that, we bring a close to another edition of Friday's Finest. God bless you. Thanks for being a part. James, say goodbye.
Go see Barbie and Oppenheimer.